Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to our Black Friday live Q&A. I'm Mark.
I'm Cedric.
Like last time, we'll be answering your questions for 30 minutes. Again, don't forget to leave some of the deals that you find in the questions, in the chat comments themselves so that we can share. So we'll be covering it for 30 minutes. We'll probably start with a brief overview of the deals that we have on our website, but let's get into it.
Yeah, so let's start. We have a few deals posted on the website that we always try to keep up to date, but let us know if there's a new deal that we should update on the page, either via the chat right now or send us an email for these. Let's do a quick overview of the TV deals while we wait for your questions in the chats, and then we're going to go over them. Yep. So for the TV deals, nothing much changed since we did the other live stream on Monday. 900F, also same price as before, so it dropped this week. It's a good price for a great TV. Maybe not as a good deal like the 900E was last year at the same time because it was $100 cheaper, but it's still a great TV in this price range, the best bet in this price range. At a cheaper price range, the Samsung NU8000 is also a very good price right now. The Samsung Q6, this one also dropped, but it's not as much worth it at the NU8000 because it's basically the same TV. The only difference between the two is the quantum layer that they called, which basically means a slightly wider color gamut. But it's almost the same TV. So between the two, it's for the cheaper NU8000, it's not worth the few $100 difference. Also a good deal right now. We have the OLEDs, so the B8 or the C8, they dropped in price. Sometimes they go lower though, like last week there was a deal on B&H, but it's still a great price, their current price that they're currently at. There's also the Vizio P series that's popular on Best Buy. Great price, great TV. Compared to the NU8000, it's slightly better picture quality in a dark room due to the full array local dimming. But the NU8000 is a little bit better for gaming due to the extra features like the variable refresh rate. And that's the quick overview. Let's go for the headphones, and then we're going to answer your questions in the chat.
All right. I'm just going to borrow this PC really quickly. Yep. There you go. All right, so we have a couple headphones listed for the Black Friday deals. The biggest drop right now is the Marshall Mid-ANC. It's a pretty good compact on-ear headphone with noise canceling. We also have the Sonys, which are quite popular. They would drop by $100.
Is it a good headphone?
It's not bad. There's better. There's better. But for the price, like at $200, definitely not worth it. But at $98, depending on your use case, like noise canceling is not great, but the sound is a bit better.
So noise canceling, it's not the same as the XM3, right?
Oh no, not that good. not that good. Like if anything, you have the XM3s, like the WH1000X lineup, then the WH900N, then maybe like the WCH700N. Okay. But it's still a good headphone. It's just that at the original price, it might not be worth it. But at $98, you're getting a pretty good deal. There's a couple more like the Bose, which are dropped by like $50. The others, the deals are not so great. The H9 are 110, but they're pretty expensive to begin with. And there's a couple gaming headphones near the bottom here. Like if ever you are like the Logitechs, the HyperX, Cloud Alpha drop by like $25. But yeah, you can always navigate to the website and look at the Black Friday deals yourself, or just click on the description link, on the link in the description on the YouTube page.
So let's skip to your questions in the chat. Make sure that you fill us in. Also, if there's any deals that you've noted that you want to share, put it in the chat to let other people aware of. And we can also update our deals page for this. So let's start.
Let's start with some questions. So you have Jihan Zeb Alvi, who's saying, hey guys, would you recommend the QC35-2 or the XM3 wired for movies and TV on MacBook and console gaming? Noise cancellation and wireless are added bonus. You're currently using the Apple AirPods and EarPods. Wired, you're not getting any latency either with the QC35-2 or the XM3. Now, they won't have mic support since their cable, I'll double check for the QC35-2, but I know that for the XM3, the cable doesn't have an inline mic, so you're not gonna get microphone support for gaming on for gaming, for example, like when you plug it into your console controller. However, for watching movies, wired, both are great. So it really depends on what you prefer. The QC35s are, for some, a bit more comfortable. For others, they prefer the XM3.
Which one has better sound quality?
Oh, this is a trap question. The most neutral sounding is the QC35. The XM3 have a bit more bass, which some people, especially, we've tried it around in the office, some people prefer the bit more bass for depending on the type of music that you listen to. But if you want the most neutral sound, then go with the QC35. If you want a more bass-heavy sound, and also the ability to customize the sound profile to your liking, then the XM3. For some, that's the defining feature there, like being able to like EQ your sound to you know. So if that's what you really want, then just go for the XM3.
Okay.
All right. So another question from Zeko, E10, X900F or Q8 FM?
That's a good question. Both are great TVs. We did the live stream a few months ago about this, but basically it depends, like most choice. But yeah, both are great TVs. So the Q8FN, it's a better screen reflection, a little bit more glossy, so it's not for everyone, but it does reflect less light overall, and a little bit better, well, a different kind of local dimming, and more gaming features on the Q8. On the other hand, the 900F, better pre-calibration, better color pre-calibration, and also overall, like there's a few other improvements in there, but it's hard to choose between the two. Also, I don't think they are the same price at the moment. But the Samsung Q8 slightly better, but it depends what you care about, and you cannot go wrong either way.
All right. So let's tackle another question from Jerry Schneidel. At 75 inches, is the Sony X900F worth the extra $800 over the 75-inch Samsung NU8000? Sorry, I was going to say 800.
It's a big price difference. If you are in a dark room, it's worth it for the local, full array local dimming of the Sony, because the NU8000 has local dimming, but it's vertical edged local dimming, which is not as effective. So in a dark room, it's worth spending more. If you are in a medium lit room, not really. It is, the Sony is still going to be better in that case, but it won't be that much of a big difference gap. So it depends on how you're going to use it.
Yep. From Joe Rod, we have, guys, the LG SK9000 for those with wide viewing angles. What is your take with the sale price? Do we know how much of the...
Yeah, the sale price of the 9000 is about $1,200 for the 55-inch at the moment. So yeah, it's an IPS. So IPS, as most of you know, better color accuracy at an angle. It's not perfect viewing angle. It's not as good as OLED. The picture still gets darkens at an angle, and the blacks are still not very good at an angle. But it's still IPS is still a good choice at an angle. Sales price though, it's pretty expensive for an IPS TV. Even though this one has local dimming, it's not a great local dimming. So if you want an IPS TV, you're better off with some cheaper models. So I would say it's not really a good price for it.
From one LeBron, if you were getting any of the following as a gift, the LG C8 versus the Vizio Quantum, which and why?
So it depends if it's the same size or not, because I believe like if you want to compare it to price, it's the same price, that means the 55-inch C8 or the 65-inch Vizio Quantum. And a 10-inch difference is a big difference. So even though the C8 has a better picture quality, depending on how far you are, like if you are, let's say, definitely more than 10 feet, go for the Vizio Quantum. The bigger size will have a bigger impact on your experience. But if you're in a dark room and relatively close, then the C8 better blacks, better picture quality overall. So yeah, it depends how far you are at and if you are in a dark room or not.
From PMC05, TCL worth the money, specifically the R series?
Yeah, rule of thumb for TCL, it's a good budget brand. Meaning that in their price range, they are usually at the best in their 4. So like the 4 series is good. The R6 series also definitely good for the money. So rule of thumb, TCL, good budget brand. Now, of course, there's issues with it. For example, there's more uniformity issues the spread is bigger for them. Like the one we reviewed, the 6 series, the grain uniformity was below average compared to the rest of the TVs we test, but we've heard of a lot of cases that was even worse than this. So there seems to be a little bit of luck how good a panel you're gonna get for this. So a little bit more variance, but as a rule of thumb, TCL is a good budget brand, and the one we recommend, like 4 series we recommend, 6 series we recommend. The 5 series, this one's we don't often recommend it because it sits a little bit in a strange place, because basically just like the 4 series, but with a wider color gamut, so not that much worth it. But yeah, 4 or 6 series, go for it.
So from Andreas Handler, I'm using the Jabra Evil 75. With that, it's doing great with the mic. People can't hear that I'm driving. I tested the Sony MDR1000X. The mics are bad. Now ordered the QC35 too. Any great all ANC out there? Not sure about the last parts. The Jabra lineup of headphones, like I think we have the 65E, the 45, and the 25E. All of their lineup seems to be a bit more focused on having a good mic performance. Usually they either have a dedicated inline mic on the around the neck design. It's on the cable itself.
Okay.
So it's closer to your mouth, and it usually performs better than some of the other Bluetooth headphones that we've, especially the wireless in-ear ones. But most Bluetooth headphones do have a limitation under how good the mic is. The protocol itself doesn't extend beyond a certain frequency range, so your voice will not always be great for. It won't be great for. It won't be that great for making a lot of voice calls.
Yeah, and if you care about microphone, there's like kind of like 3 categories, 3 tier for headphones microphone that you can easily identify. Basically, all the ones with a boom mic are all better, roughly.
Like significantly better most of the time.
Yeah. Then after that, it's the inline.
It's the inline. So on the remote itself, usually the remote is either wired or if the headphone, like we said, is like an around the neck design. On the earbud cable, you would have an inline mic that's closer to your mouth. So it usually has a better, so you would go in the tier, you have boom mics, then inline wired, then inline probably Bluetooth, and then the integrated Bluetooth ones, the ones that are like hidden in the headphone itself.
So like the Sony, right?
Like the Sony's, right?
So all of these are really like worse than all the other ones. So they seem like to be these categories that there's a little bit of overlap, but not much, right?
Not much. But if you want the best mic performance, definitely go for the gaming headphones that have the boom mic. The Jabras are doing pretty well and seem to be a bit more focused on delivering good mic experience. But yeah. So from KI Cinder, I have the KS8000. Should I upgrade to the NU8000?
No. It's the SK8000 is still in today's standard. It's still great. It's almost in some cases better than the NU8000. Not in all cases. For example, like the gaming feature of the NU8000 are better because the KS8000 doesn't support variable refresh rate. But it's besides that, it's basically the NU8000 is basically a downgrade. Like the reflection finish is not as good, but it's just the same ballpark. So don't upgrade. It's not worth it. Keep your KS8000 for a few more years if you are thinking about upgrading.
From Hacken the Great, is the Q7FN an upgrade from the KS8000? Maybe the Q6FN? Good deals in my country, usually 21% to 50% off.
So kind of similar to the last question. So basically for this, the Q7FN is a better TV than the KS8000. It gets brighter. That's the biggest difference, plus a little bit wider color gamut for the quantum layer that we've talked previously. Now, is it worth an upgrade? Probably not, because like the local dimming is about the same on both. So basically just get a brighter TV plus a few gaming features. So if you want a brighter TV, then sure. But if you want like a better picture quality besides brightness, it's about the same. But the Q6FN would be a little bit of a downgrade overall, like the NU8000.
So remember, we have a lot of the deals already on our website. So if you go to either the TV side or the headphone side even monitors. You can go to the Black Friday deals, and then you will see all the ones that we were able to find ourselves. But again, feel free to add some in the chat, and we'll share those and even maybe update the Black Friday page if it's a good enough deal.
Yeah, a lot of deals that we list on our website actually that people like you provided to us either by email or via the chats. Then we update the page, make sure we're always up to date. Because some of you that are watching that are really good at finding deals, sometimes more obscure deals. So send us an email or in the chat if you find good deals and that you want to spread about.
Okay, perfect. So from Peter, we have, Pete R, sorry. Best value TV for under $500.
Under 500, probably the TCL 4 series, that would be the best bet. Yeah, and there's not much competition in that price range. That's usually what we recommend, TCL 4 series. Under 500, that's the best.
From Marie Callo, is there an IPS TV with a good FALD that you could recommend for HDR?
No, I wouldn't say no, but yeah, kind of. Because even if you have a full array local dimming backlight, if with an IPS TV with a low native contrast, you're gonna get blooming, and yeah, you're gonna get blooming. Even if you have a lot of zones, there's nowhere around it. Now, if you don't care about blooming, so that means that if you have lights in your room, then yes, there's a few maybe like the high-end LG IPS that could be good for HDR because they have a wide color gamut, that kind of stuff. But if you care about blacks, IPS is not the way to go. Even with a lot of zone count, you're gonna have blooming. It's a bit like the Zen 9F, which doesn't have an IPS panel, but it has a VA, which is with a layer in front that behaves kind of in between. There is blooming on that one. There's nowhere around it. So in a dark room, it's not the best choice. So if you care about this, you shouldn't try to go with an IPS, even if it has full array local dimming.
From Soccer Dad, pretty funny name. Is it safe buying big items on eBay? Some of the prices seem too good to be true compared to big box retailers.
That's a good question. Yeah. It depends on the seller. And also sometimes they provide a little bit of protection. And there's also for TVs, there's what's called like a gray market of TVs. It's not a black market because it's not like fake TVs that they sell, but it's TVs that are not officially sold via authorized resellers of the brands. Usually most brands like Sony or Samsung, if you go to their website, I don't remember the exact address, but you can see the full list of authorized online retailers. If it's in that list, then you can be sure that you're gonna get good support from the brand. On eBay, check who's selling it. You might want to cross-check it with the list of the official list from the brand. If it's in there, then yeah, go for it. But otherwise, it might not be an issue if you buy it on eBay, but it might be a little bit more trouble with, especially if you have a problem with your TV later on.
From Leo Avina, 77-inch LG OLED C8, probably out of my price range. So what 75 plus would you recommend? 60% for DirecTV, 20% for movies, 20% for PS4. I like how you split the ranges. It's nice.
Yeah,
the percentage and everything.
It's always better, more accurate this way. So a 75-inch or plus. If you don't want to go for OLED because it's really expensive, the OLED in that size range, Sony X9F is a safe choice. It even go up to 85-inch. It's really a safe choice. If you don't want to spend as much, the Samsung NU8000, it's also available, I believe, in 82-inch, which is good. Not as good as the Sony, but it's a good choice. And there's also like the Sony X850F that's available in 85-inch. Now this one, we tested the 65-inch, which has an IPS, but in 85 it has VA, so our review won't really correspond to it since the VA has better blacks. But rule of thumb, Sony 900F would be a good choice in that price range.
From Dafub21, is LG 50, so I guess the 50-inch UK 6950 PLB. Okay, that is a very complicated name.
LG models and boards in the 6 series, there's a lot of variations, and we only tested a few in the 6 series. This is one of the variations that we haven't tested, There's a few variations for a few reasons, like different retailers get different ones, and then just like into Black Friday season, they spawn a lot of different variations of the numbers. This one,
Is it good for gaming?
it's a tricky one. 50 inch, as far as I'm aware, there's no IPS of 50 inch, which is a little bit strange because usually all 6 series of the LG are IPS, but 50 inch, usually it's VA in that size, which means that's good blacks compared to what the LG has, but bad view angle. And all LG TV we tested this year had good input lag, so it should be good for gaming. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a low input lag and with good blacks, it should be a good thing, but we haven't tested it, so we cannot be 100% sure.
From Daniel Mangeris, the LG OLED 55-inch B8 SLC, any good for Xbox One X at 1,300 euros? If not, what would you recommend instead?
Yeah, great TV, OLED B8, great TV for gaming, low input lag, great picture quality, so there's not much that there is to it. A little bit of a risk there depending on the game you play. Usually most people won't have a problem with burn-in, even for gaming. Like for example, in our currently running test, we have a Call of Duty TV that has no burn-ins at all so far. But the FIFA TV that you currently have has a little bit of burn-in. So it depends on the game you play, but rule of thumb, you won't have any issue. So it's a great one. You're only gonna have issues for if you only play one game and that game has a really bright static content, then you might be an issue. Might have an issue for this. But otherwise, yeah, go for it. Great gaming TV.
So concerning burning, actually, there's another question from Wellington Davies. The OLED B8, is it okay for sport 100%? He's scared for burning.
So far in our burn-in test, the sports one, which we play a bunch of different games of American football, there's no issue yet for burn-in. And it's been running for 5,000 hours. I don't remember the exact count. So most likely not an issue. So I wouldn't worry about it. We haven't heard of any report of sports burn-in. Now we've seen a few reports of burn-in for like in some games or definitely news, or even subtitles in some cases, but so far none for sports, so it should be safe, so we'll go for it.
Can you show where to find the burn-in results on the website?
Yeah, we've recently just changed the menu, so it's maybe a little bit different now, but if you go under test of the TV section, you should have the real-life OLED burn-in test. And then, well, we put our current summary of what's currently going on. But if you scroll down past the methodology, you're going to see that, for example, in here, the magenta color, the football one has no issue so far, and it's been running for a while now. So it should be safe. Even like Call of Duty, no issue. The FIFA one that I just talked about, you can see a little bit on the top left corner and the bottom one, the bars of the players, but it's pretty minimal. So sports, you should be fine on it.
So a question from Fisherman's Friend. Why is there no Phillips review? I'm assuming for headphones or for TVs also. Do they make TVs?
Yeah, the make TVs, but the reason why you don't know it, because we don't test them, reason why we don't test them is that they are not really sold in the US, which is a main market. So there are more Phillips, it's more popular overseas, but since we focus on the US models, that's why we haven't tested them. Same thing for headphones.
Oh, same thing for headphones. Like I had the answer for headphones, but I wasn't sure if Phillips actually,
yeah, same applies.
Same applies.
I don't know why though they are not in the US.
No. Is it kind of like similar to Panasonic? Is that,
yeah, same thing. Panasonic, we tested a few, I think we tested 2 Panasonic TVs a while back for plasma, but after that they exited the market, the US market a few years ago, and then since then we haven't tested any.
Yeah, same, we don't have that many headphones for Panasonic either. I think we have like 1 or 2. They're very cheap in ear, and the noise cancelling one that takes like AA batteries. But yeah, we don't have that many models.
Yeah.
All right. So from Bidro, BenQ L28770U, 4K HDR, What do you think? It's the monitor, I guess?
Yeah, it's a monitor. You're not used to model.
Yeah, to the TV and monitor models. I'm not used to the naming. Like I can recognize maybe the brands, but the naming.
Yeah. I think we haven't tested this one. Let me just verify for this. Isn't the one that we just bought? You can see here on our. Oh no, that's another BenQ. But you can see, by the way, on this tool, you can suggest a new product that we can buy and vote for them. And we can even see which one is currently in our pipeline that we've bought, but are not currently testing. So you can see, like for the BenQ here, we did it. And let's search for the, you said the EL20.
Yeah, it's the one.
So this one, yeah, so we haven't tested it, so we don't really know about it. If you're interested about it, just vote for it. If it gets to the top of that list, we're going to buy and test it.
So from ZZ4000, I want to buy a game and movie 75-inch TV. I'm looking at the Q6FN or the Q8FN, but is the price jump of the Q8FN really justified, or should the cheaper Q6FN be good enough for gaming and my movie needs? Well, for my gaming and movie.
So between the Q8FN and the Q6FN?
From gaming and movies.
Q8FN, definitely better TV. It gets brighter, better local dimming. Now, is it worth the price difference? If you're in a dark room, for movies, yes, because of the full array local dimming backlight. If you're in a really bright room, yes, because it gets brighter and better screen reflections. If you're in the middle, like just a few lights, but not completely dark, and also not like with full sunlight, then it's not worth as much. So probably in this case, you want just to save money. But if you're in a dark room or a very bright one, it is worth, even if it's more expensive.
So from Bedro, the SteelSeries Arctis 7 or the Astro A50 both come in great deals too. So the SteelSeries Arctis 7 work for PS4 and PC. So if you're primarily an Xbox One gamer, that already kind of like rules them out of the. You can still use them wired with the controllers, but it's always nice being able to use them wirelessly with the dongle as intended. So if you're primarily gaming on Xbox One, just getting the Xbox variant of the A50 will probably be the best for you. However, the SteelSeries Arctis 7 are a slightly better value typically. We should check the deals maybe to see how much the A50s are off. But in most cases, the Arctis 7 are usually cheaper, which will be a better value for most gamers. What you're getting with the A50 is that little base station, so that you can kind of just rest the headphones for like dock charging. So if you have like a nice gaming setup, you can just have it right next to your TV, and then which it looks nice, and it has a very gamer look. The SteelSeries have a bit more of a casual design, because like the mic is retractable.
Oh,
and it comes with a cable, so you can use it with your like phone and stuff like that. Whereas the Astro A50, they have no wired mode. Everything has to go.
You have the base, right?
Yeah, everything has to go through the base station. So that's the biggest difference here. So if you're Xbox One and usually use your headphones just for gaming and maybe like watching TV at home, then Astro A50. But if you are PS4 or PC and use your like gaming headphones for other things other than like just gaming, like listening to like music around or just even using them outdoors, then definitely go with the Arctis. They're typically even a better value usually.
So we're almost done with our live Q&A, only a few minutes left. So make sure to post your questions in the chats so that we can answer a few more before leaving. But otherwise, you can check the deals on the website that are going to be updated even tomorrow. We're based in Montreal, so that's why we work today. So it's not a holiday here. So we're going to make sure it's always updated. So let's answer a few more questions.
From Raja Shikhar. 75-inch in between the Samsung NU7100 and the Sony X850F versus the Samsung NU8000. Oh, versus the Vizio M series. Okay, so
4 TVs.
So 4 TVs. So the Samsung NU7100, the Sony X850F, the Samsung NU8000, and the Vizio M series, mostly for gaming, TV shows, and movies. What would you get?
Depends what you care most about. In a dark room, the Vizio M series will have a better picture quality because it has a full array local dimming, whilst the other ones don't. Samsung NU8000 has local dimming, but as I mentioned earlier on, it's edge lit, so it's not as effective. NU7100, probably worth to spend more to get to NU8000. It works, it's a good TV, but it's a very basic TV, so there's nothing much about it. Between the Sony X850F and the NU8000, this is a trickier one. Although in 75 inch, I believe that the X850 is the same one as we tested, which is the IPS. It's not like the 85 inch. So better color accuracy at an angle, but worse black. So if you're in a dark room in front, get the Samsung. But if you are like in a living room with people on the side, then the X850F would be the better choice.
So from Master PGC, is the Vizio M Series 55-inch a good deal at $450 at Sam's Club?
Yeah, definitely a good deal. Rule of thumb for Vizio, it's they also make good TVs. Not everyone likes their smart features with the smart cast. Some people really love it. If they always have your phone, you can just cast it. But it really depends on people. Some people find it not really intuitive for their smart features. But as far as picture quality, yeah, it's a good choice.
And again, for the deals, you can always quickly access our deal pages through the links in the description, or you can just go to the website and click on either TVs, monitors, or headphones, and go to the Black Friday deals, and you'll have the list of all the deals that we've currently found. And of course, if there are more deals, we will update them. And if you add more deals to the chat box, we will eventually add them to the Black Friday deals if they're good.
Okay, so let's get 2 more questions, and then that's going to be it for today.
Perfect. All right, so from Gaj, I need a higher pixel dense screen. What is the best 43-inch TV, or shall I go for a monitor? If so, is there anything with good HDR yet? We will be using it for consoles and PC.
In 43-inch, there are no good TV. Right now, the focus of the industry is more and more the high-end TVs are only on the bigger sizes, so they stop doing the high-end TV for the smaller sizes. So 43-inch on a TV, don't expect good HDR. They're going to support HDR, that oh yeah, you can sense the signal, but that actually there's very few TVs with a wide color gamut in that size, and definitely not that has like full array local dimming or things like that. So don't expect good HDR on a TV. Same thing applies for monitors. In that size, there's no good HDR from monitor. Now, should you go for a monitor or a TV? It's a hard choice, and it depends. It depends. I'm not really sure which one I would personally go. Maybe just get like a TCL S series in 43-inch. It's cheap, it works. VA panels, that means you have good blacks. Maybe not the best though if you really sit close to your monitor, because the edge are going to be at an angle, so you're going to get a loss of color saturation. In that case, maybe get a LG 43-inch monitor that has IPS, so that at least the color is accurate on the side. But it's a tough situation. There is definitely a need for the market in that size range for better picture quality TV and/or monitor.
All right, so last question from Wellington Davies. For 100% streaming TV, who has the best OS? Sony, Samsung, QLEDs, or LG OLEDs?
Depends. It depends. Depends on how you want to use it. For example, like if you really always like to use your phone, then like Vizio to Streamcast works great, but it's not for everyone. Otherwise, Sony Android TV is slow, except the last 2 TV that we tested, A9F and the Z9F. They made an improvement there, so it's faster, but all the rest of the Sony, it's slow. It's almost not usable at that point. So it leaves you with the Samsung or LG. Both are good smart OS. LG probably has a little bit of the lead there with WebOS, especially with the remote, a little bit more of a lead there. But most people, you can do whatever you want with both cases, Samsung and LG.
All right, so I think we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
So again, you can always check out the deals page with the description links in the YouTube descriptions, or directly on the website by just going to the Black Friday deals tag.
So thanks for tuning in and thanks for your questions. And if you like this kind of video, like this video, and then we're going to do more of these live stream to answer your question. And I hope you find this useful. All right.